what I'm presenting on today stems from the work that I have done over the years at the Wolf Institute on the history of the Christian expansion over Islamic lands in medieval Iberia. So between the 11th and the 13th centuries, the Christian expansion over Islamic lands resulted in the forced coexistence between neighbors of different faiths in what are called frontier societies. And this forced coexistence forced a process that we call popularly as convivencia. And one of the ways in which we can best assess the impact of such accommodation is through the participation of Jews and Muslims in the complex legal systems that emerged in these newly formed Christian societies. So my current project aims to use a wide range of legal sources that present Jews as consumers of the medieval Christian judiciaries, to use a concept of Daniel Lord Smail. So I'm looking at different cases in court records that involve participants, Jewish participants from a wide range of socioeconomic backgrounds, that pit Jews against their own communities, against Christians as well as Muslims, and in which they are also participating as witnesses, etc. And so the main point is that I wish to, in the context of the Christian Reconquista, I want to use these surviving documents to analyze the legal architecture, not from the point of the conquerors, but from the people that used the judicial structures. So in short, what happened when Jewish individuals and communities used Christian courts of law. So the kinds of results that I'm starting to see in the documents are the ones that I've put on the slide. So in the next few minutes, I want to go through these cases through a few case studies. So a lot of the cases that I have been looking at involved disputes over Jewish taxation as well as land sale disputes. So this is one of the ways in which the Jewish communities negotiated their position in local society. So in one case, for instance, in the Navarrese town of Funes, the Jewish community refused to pay their taxes over their purchases, the market purchases, as well as their debts. And so the clerics of the local monastery sued them in the Christian court of Navarre. And over a course of 10 years, they had to summon their witnesses and take the representatives to the royal court in Tudela to present their case at the royal court of Sancho VI. So this would have been how, this is more or less how it would have looked. And the king conducted an inquiry, and eventually the king ordered the Jews to pay their dues. And I quote here, just as it had been done by your ancestors. Different sorts of records also mostly involve so landowners, and this mostly renders itself through specifically through rich Jewish landowners. In these cases, these Jewish individuals seem to navigate the judicial structures in ways that seem to contravene their own position as Jews in local society. So in one case that I've put up, a Jew called Abraham in Barcelona got an exemption by the king of the Crown of Aragon, saying that he and his family were not just exempted from Aragonese taxation, but they were protected for any judicial impositions by the Jewish community of Barcelona, including Jewish communal bans, so Shamta and Herem, which are forms of kind of excommunication, as well as any other prohibition or constraint imposed against them. So this shows Jews are going against the kind of the communal the rationale. And in actually many of the other contemporary records, we find Jews litigating aspects of Jewish lives that we would consider internal, such as, for instance, divorce or inheritance. There's not much time, but Muslims also appear in these records in the same sorts of ways. But the key question for me, just to finish off, is not whether these documents reveal Jewish agency. Instead, I look at why these Jews appear in these kinds of records. So it's often a question of visibility rather than agency. And I also want to look at how, in navigating the legal systems at their disposal, Jews such as Abraham recognized Christian power and put Jewish justice in competition with Christian courts. So in short, I set out to test my hypothesis that judicial experiences in medieval Iberia transformed both the nature and composition of Jewish communities, and as well as the dynamics of Jewish-Christian entanglement in Christian Iberia. Thank you.